Greetings, hearers and listeners. Welcome back to Imagination Station. It's your favorite author, Lisa Walker McCrae, with another exciting story time from the pages of my novel, A Peculiar Kind of Love. Remember, you guys, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. First and foremost, big praise to the Most High Yah. And a special shout out to you guys that are still chiming in. Like always, I appreciate your time, love, and support. With that being said, are y'all ready to get those imaginations soaring and turn some pages? Alrighty then, let's get into it. Sean C., set the stage. Alright, my beloveds, quick recap from our last story time to open those imaginations. When we paused, there were a couple of open conversations going. One between Drew and Ma Tate, the other between Dean and Tevin. Now, Drew and Ma Tate's conversation was about their parents' trip to Africa, which was very interesting. We left them about to discuss other matters because Ma Tate knew there was more Drew wasn't telling her. Then there was Dean and Tevin, who discussed the matters of being discreet about their past. Now y'all, there was something more going on with these two, and our little journalist Rain was trying her best to find out. We left her running off to the bathroom about to piss her pants after Mr. Pete caught her eavesdropping on the siblings. Now, Rain was looking for a story to tell, while Drew told Ma Tate hers. The pair sat in the bay window laughing uncontrollably at Drew's actions with Marcus. "Girl, you didn't snatch the pie, did you?" Ma Tate laughed even more. Drew told her she sure did. It gave her a sense of authority. "I wasn't embarrassed about it either. I was craving that pie, Ma Tate." Drew gave her a wink. The pair shared in another laugh at the pettiness. Looking into Drew's eyes, Ma Tate could still see life in them. She was pleased to see Marcus's homecoming didn't alter her mood. And although Marcus wasn't her concern right now, this Zay character Drew told her about had Ma Tate's attention. After hearing the story that came with Zay, Ma Tate did advise Drew to call him and thank him for the article and apologize for her actions. Although she was still on the fence about Zay's actions and feelings for Drew, Ma Tate felt reaching out would be the professional thing to do. She handed Drew a mischievous smile. Drew chuckled. "What's that look for?" she asked. "I don't think you should only call Zay. Set a meeting with him." Drew eyed Ma Tate. "Yes, I am on the fence about him, but let's keep an open heart. The man is trying to woo you, darling, and I see no harm in that, especially if the doors are closed between you and Marcus." Drew scrolled her face. She asked Ma Tate, why a meeting? Why couldn't she just text and let it be? Ma Tate pinched Drew's cheek, handing her a satisfying smile. "Because you put the man out, sweetheart, in the rain." Drew nodded her head in agreement. "Yep, can't argue that," she stated. The pair embraced each other. They both exhaled, then started out of the office. Dean was walking up as they were walking out. She wore a look of surprise. Actually, she was surprised to see Ma Tate. "Hey there, when did you get back?" Dean asked, embracing Ma Tate. She wondered how much of her and Ethan's story had Drew and Jay told her. With a slight quiver of uncertainty in her voice, Dean asked how they were. Of course, the women eyed her suspiciously. The quiver in Dean's voice roused their curiosity. "Are you okay?" Ma Tate asked. Dean assured all was well. She informed them she just had a heart-to-heart with Ethan. Ma Tate wasn't blind and could see Dean was rattled. She went in to render comfort, but Dean pulled back, rejecting her. "I'm good. It's just life, right?" Dean stated, fondling her keys nervously. Ma Tate wasn't a stranger to what was going on with Dean and her brother Tevin. Jay had already enlightened her. Goodness, Rain isn't the only one in the business of reporting stories. Jay is telling it all, hunties. Anywho, Ma Tate reminded Dean she could come to them about anything. Drew stood with her in agreement. Dean was dying to open up, but this wasn't the right time for it. I'm good, I promise, Dean assured. She went on to tell the ladies if things got too bad, they would be the first ones she'd reach out to. Ma Tate accepted Dean's reasoning. For now, anyway. She didn't want to be pushy. The day passed and evening had fallen on Serenity Meadows. Drew laid stretched out across her bed on her fourth attempt to call Zay. For some reason, around the third ring, she'd chicken out and hang up. What's wrong with you, girl? It's only a phone call. You got this, Drew encouraged self. She thought about it a moment longer. Okay, you got this, she uttered. Finally, Drew had enough courage to go through with the call. Oh my, Drew stated, looking down at her phone. There was no need for courage. Zay was calling her back. Drew was shaking like a leaf. It was now or never. Hello, Zay. How are you? Drew greeted. Hey there, stranger, Zay greeted back. He told Drew he was returning her call. Drew could immediately tell he was glad to receive the call by the excitement in his voice, which was shocking because she knew for sure Zay had put her on mute. Now scrambling for words, Drew managed to thank Zay for the article he'd written and apologized for putting him out in the rain. I overreacted, Zay, and it was downright rude of me. Please forgive me. And please forgive me for that night at Eclipse as well. I wasn't in a good place, Drew asked humbly. There was a silence. Drew took the phone from her ear to see if Zay hung up. She knew for sure he'd hung up on that lame apology. Clearing his throat, Zay finally spoke. I'm sorry, I was feeding my son. And stop apologizing. Everything is cool between us. Zay went on to tell Drew he should be the one apologizing for coming on so strong. Drew heard the apology. But did he say son? She asked herself. Drew didn't take Zay for the father type. Wow, shocking. I didn't know you had a son. Zay chuckled. He asked Drew, was it shocking to her because she didn't take him for the father type? Drew got a little choked up. Zay was dead on, but she dared not tell him she'd already made an ass of herself once. Drew was hesitant to speak. Nah, Zay chuckled. He told Drew let him save her the horror. She didn't. Drew laughed. Trying to save herself from the humiliation, she asked Zay his son's name and how old he was. Asher is 2, about to be 3 in a few weeks. September the 30th, Zay informed. Drew's jaw dropped. She was excited to inform Zay Asher was named after one of the 12 tribes of Israel, and they also shared the same birthday. Hey, I got a birthday twin. I got a birthday twin, Drew chanted. She then went on to express that she couldn't believe 33 was already upon her when it seemed like just yesterday she was thriving in her 20s. Zay let out a sigh. He told Drew he felt the same way about Asher, that it seemed like only hours had passed since him and Asher's mother held him in their arms for the first time, and now he was about to be 3. Interesting, Drew said to self. She didn't want to pry, but her need to know if Zay and Asher's mother was still in an intimate relationship tapped at her shoulders. Where is Asher's mother? Drew asked the question before she knew it. Biting her lips, she waited anxiously on a response. Zay openly and willingly, with no hesitation, told Drew him and Asher's mother split up a month after he was born, agreeing to co-parent. He also added they shared custody in which he got Asher every other month in holidays. Drew was impressed with the co-parenting strategy between Zay and his baby mama. Now, she had a no baby mama policy, but Zay seemed to have his in check, at least enough for them to raise Asher. This girl is a trip. Anywho, the pair spent hours on the phone talking about any and everything imaginable, from running a successful business to parenting a 2-year-old. I swear, the minute I think I have it all figured out, this boy pops out with something new, Zay stated and chuckled. Drew agreed. There was a moment of silence between the two. Then Zay spoke. Have dinner with me, Drew. Nothing fancy, just dinner. I'll be back in Texas in a few weeks and we can do it then. Drew was hesitant to give an answer. She wanted to say yes, but the words wouldn't come out. For some reason, every time a man showed interest in her, she felt like she was cheating on Marcus. Drew used to feel the same way about Sean, and this needed to stop. She told herself she was free to do anything. Drew looked down at her hand. Ain't no ring on this finger, she agreed with self. At that moment, she freed herself from Marcus's grasp and took a look at her options. I would love to accept, but I have so much to do around here. I just don't have the time. What? Oh, no, Drew. You're going back on self-hunting. And she knew this because she was now shaking her head, disappointed with self. Make time, Zay stated. He then suggested he take her and Asher to bounce around for their birthdays. She could bring Gabe and they could call it a play date. Drew tried pushing the word yes out, but it held on to her uvula for dear life. Noticing she still wasn't convinced, Zay sugared the invitation up. He offered to buy Drew a birthday cake if she agreed. Oh no, he used a weapon. How can anyone refuse cake? Drew laughed out. Oh wow, my beloved earlenders. It looks as though our girl is going to allow Zay to woo her. Is this the same door he tried opening up years ago? Will Drew walk through it? Well, I guess we'll find out in the next story time, because this one has sadly come to an end, and this chapter as well. So meet me back here at Imagination Station for a new chapter in this story, and maybe a new chapter in Drew's life. Until next time, I'm going to leave you all with this. Dreams are free, but the hustle is sold separately. God bless this reading and yourselves. Smooches!